In Jordanian desert, archaeologists analyzed Shudo Puncher 1 to learn about a major advance. Fireplace ashes may challenge agricultural growth. Central Africa's beauty is rural, yet agriculture and a sedentary lifestyle are new. Because their settings are unfit for farming or raising animals, the lifestyles of ancient hunter-gatherers were studied. Women forage and males hunt in most labor and hunter-gatherer civilizations. Despite their similarities, hunting and collecting can be difficult to acclimate to. Egypt, Sumer, and Mesopotamia cultivated. Post-Pleistocene agriculture began. This year's climate change may have expedited non-domesticated animal and plant farming. Hunters struggled. After becoming sedentary, hunter-gatherers grew wheat, barley, rice, and squash in Southwest Asia, East Asia, Mexico, and Peru. Domesticating animals took 80 to 1,000 years. Southwest Asia had Fertile Crescent farming settlements 10,000 years ago. Archaeologists first studied the non-core zone Tufian Shoe Baker site. Mediterranean woodlands hunter-gatherers ruled. Eastern Georgia's Black Desert harbors Baker. New hunter-gatherer diet data thus, its name. Near Syria and Jordan's capital, Ammon, bakery sites are archaeological. Jebel Karma's Black Desert rock sculpture cells. 2,000-year-old inscriptions indicate desert settlement. Chewbacca 1 suggests the 2000s began earlier. The Black Desert may be Saudi Arabia and Jordan's largest volcanic field. Lava spills from 19,000 square mile Bass Altar Rock. Although farming did not become common in the area until 4,000 years after the two Finns resided at Chewbacca, their lifestyle was more sedentary than the tribes before them, which contributed to their mortality. The work was led by archaeologists from the University of Copenhagen, with assistance from Jordan's Antiquities Department, although there were probably multiple buildings at Shoe Baker 1 in the past. The researchers concentrated on the two that were best preserved. Other experts from the University of Cambridge and UCL were also involved. Tools and animal bones were found inside the buildings, suggesting that they were built of the basal, a common type of stone in the region. A human skeleton was found in one wall. He group found that the structures had additionally their own chimneys similar as the structures to these 3-foot wide. Chimneys have been shaped with basalt stones. In addition, the Natufian-era structures were confirmed by radiocarbon dating of the ashes inside. However, instead of clearing the chimneys out then, the two fields had apparently quite recently left them. As they were, as a result, the researchers were able to examine the ashes to determine what the Natufian people had been preparing and eating. Fortunately, Baker 1 was probably a wetland during the time of the Natufian shoe. Even though the arid conditions of today make it difficult to grow crops, here it would have been different in the past. Some produced like wheat had already grown naturally in the area. However, archaeologists have long held the belief that the Natufian people lived thousands of years before agriculture began in Southwest Asia. That is the thing makes what was found at Shoe Bread Cook 1 so exceptional. Researchers examined 49 fireplace samples under a microscope and found that the two fields had all the bread-making processes, despite not being farmed. Before investigating, the student had to identify bread from ancient cereals like porridge. The study's experimental bread's microscopic characteristics and particles matched the remains. Bread only needs flour and water. Tracker finders may have consumed sugar and fiber bread for team plant calories. Karat must check shoes. Bagel 1 microscopy revealed anchor, wheat, oats, barley, and club rush tubers. In the July 2018 investigation, club rush tubers were the most abundant plant. Pita-like yeast-free bread. The bread was prepared on hot stones near the fire or on ashes without ovens. Ancient flatbreads were popular because they could be stored and carried without an oven. Europe and Turkey uncovered 9,100-year-old unleavened flatbread. Jordan and bread go way back. However, previous nature site examinations showed antique crushing equipment and sickled rock cutting edges, indicating flora interaction. Researchers proved Danella. Pascal's research has focused on bread, but she suggested that flatbread's benefits over other bread could have helped sedentary farmers and hunter-gatherers get along. Pascal alone knew cereal science. McGovern fermented cuisine. Health and beverages transformed how Christians view food and wine. Bread represents Jesus' flesh, wine his blood. Passover remembers Israel's rescue. After publishing their findings in the National Academy of Sciences, the team wants to continue studying early plant and animal diets. The Danish Council for Independent Research has provided additional funds to evaluate the finest bread-making plants and whether farmers will use them. Like this video, subscribe and hit the bell.